can't believe that last week at this time, my three favorite baseball teams, the Rangers, the Astros, and the Dodgers, were all in the playoffs. And this week, they're all gone. There's no crying in baseball, so I'm not going to moan and groan about my baseball fate. But being in a baseball season, being in a baseball set of mind, I've been thinking about baseball, and specifically about baseball movies. There was a movie in 2001 called Hardball. Keanu Reeves and Diane Lane were the stars of the movie, told the true story of a guy whose real name is Bob Musikowski. Bob is an insurance broker, went to an Ivy League school, was very successful, but also had some problems. He got addicted to some substances. He found himself in jail. In the course of that unraveling of his life, a good friend of his began to work with him, got him into recovery, and in the course of recovery, he became a Christian. To start his life over, he moved to Chicago. He said halfway between the Cabrini Green Projects and the Gold Coast. And he said every day on his way to work, he would begin to see forgotten people at forgotten places. One of the things he passed every day, he said, was an abandoned field filled with trash. On either end, there were backstops. One day, walking in the neighborhood with his wife, he saw an African-American man working with some kids, playing baseball, trying to do some skill sets and batting practice. Struck up a conversation, and before he knew it, Bob knew that he had been called by God to play baseball with these kids. As he put it, I wasn't called to save the world. God was asking me simply to play baseball with these kids from my neighborhood. From that began a ministry that has blossomed into significant ministries, all based around the idea of just playing baseball with the kids. Now, when asked, Bob would say that where he got this idea was from Jesus. He said, I kind of take Jesus seriously. He says, I read that old book. That old book tells me that I'm supposed to love my neighbors as myself. He says, I don't think that means that we move to the neighborhoods where the neighbors are easy to love. We love the people with whom we are situated. That's what Bob has done. He's made visible the invisible kingdom. And isn't that the assignment that we all have? To make visible the invisible kingdom. Not necessarily in big dramatic ways. It can be as simple as playing baseball with the kids in the neighborhood. That might be the best way for us to make visible that invisible kingdom. And so I want to close by just reading an excerpt from Are You Running With Me, Jesus? The prayers of Malcolm Boyd, his prayer of discipleship. He prayed, send me, but where, Lord, to do what? And then he said, to bring pardon where there had been injury in a life I casually brush up against in my daily work, but I had thought of mediating a teenage gang war in Chicago. It's not the big stuff. It's the little stuff. How are you going to make visible the invisible kingdom?